Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, Pep Talks in the morning, and I'm your host, Anthony Defu. Today's show, it's Monday 9th of March 2020. So I'm hoping everyone waking up early. You're waking up, as the old people say, the early bird gets the fattest worm. So again, it's a wonderful day today. Today is going to be a great day, Trinidad and Tobago. And once again, welcome to Pep Talks in the morning. So, it's been a great weekend. Not a whole lot happening, at least on the negative aspect of things, at least not locally anyway. Outside of the usual things happening, which, it's a regular everyday thing. So we constantly go through these issues and try to have them solved. But how that goes presently. Yesterday it was International Women's Day, so I must give much love and thanks and appreciation to all the women out there. It was a very I have to say, International Women's Day, for us to recognize the woman of the world. Yes, women are fighting for equal rights and all these good things. I would like to say human rights personally, because we need to seek the interests of people on a whole. And yes, the system in itself needs to evolve in a way where women do have a level of, I have to say. I don't want to say so much rights because, like I said, it's human rights. The same rights of a man should be placed and available for a woman, plain and simple. But, we within society need to take serious account and consideration for our women because, they have a big struggle. They are usually the backbone within a home, especially single mothers out there. Hats off to you, because we know the struggle. We know the struggle is real. If we had a world that worked a lot better, we would be in a better place. And Trinidad and Tobago, where PEP is concerned, we are trying to create that model so we can present that to the world. A country that works, where everyone has rights across the board, both men and women. Once you're a citizen on a whole, human is what we would like to say, because again, is about the well-being of the people. Bottom line. That's just what it is. So again, once again, hats off to all women out there. It was definitely a day to have great consideration towards, where the plight of women are concerned. Little piece of good news again. Actress Penelope Spencer, I believe, yes. Adopt a Classroom. There's a little program that's taking place right now. Reasoning behind this, she has said, due to the high risks in school, it really came about because she was disgusted with the crime in TNT which involved children, and that is a serious thing, Trinidad and Tobago, because when you really look at the schools, what's happening in the secondary schools and stuff, it's a level of madness, because I remember going to school in my time, and the environment was so much different. It was a time where children simply could not, let's say, pass an elder without having some level of recognition. There is, I remember as a kid, you could not pass an adult without saying good morning or good evening, or if it's your neighbor, it's like Uncle Winston or Uncle Bertie or Auntie Irwin or whatever the case is. We always had to have instilled in us a level of respect for our elders and acknowledgement. But now it's a whole different time now, boy, because children are basically doing whatever they want. I mean, really and truly, the environment is totally different simply because the home in itself, as it was long time back in the day, as they say, you had grandmother around, grandfather, auntie, uncle. You had a large family unit across border. Everyone was around the same environment, same community, same street. Everybody living next to each other. Children had a level of supervision. For example, when they come home from school and stuff, they would either interact with the grandparents or an aunt or an uncle, come do your homework and that kind of thing. Now, in the environment that we have, unfortunately, we have a large portion of single parents, single mothers out there. Primarily single mothers. There are single fathers as well. But really, really and truly, children, for example, in a single parent home would come home from school and not have that other adult around, whether it be a family member or what have you. That is able to supervise, to oversee, to interact, where this kid has that level of influence from an adult, especially one that is from as a family member. When you take into account now where children are simply coming home idle hands, find things to do, single mother working 2 jobs, whether it be a full-time and a part-time or what have you, again, the environment is we wonder why things are going the way it's going, but everything is stemming from the home, and we have to recognize this. Again, here at the PEP, we talk about being placed into government. The social arm of government would be one of the largest arms that we plan to develop and roll out nationally, because we know a large contributor to the issues we are dealing with as a society, as a country, where our citizens are concerned. It stems from the home. It's a social issue that we're dealing with. And these things must be addressed. We can't be blind to this anymore, and we can't continuously be putting plasters on the sore. We have to go into the communities in itself, create proper programs within the social sector that can follow up, be efficient, have archived information. It's a host of different things. It's a holistic, several prong effect, or approach, I should say, that we need to take towards this. And it's only until that is really addressed is where we can actually be on the road to recovery, be on the road in redeveloping the home, redeveloping the family here in Trinidad and Tobago. Also, one of our policies, such as home ownership for all, again, that is trying to empower the population, empower the citizenry, because again, a man or a family having their own home, they have something of pride, something that is their investment, something that they want to protect. So again, is about rebuilding the home. It's rebuilding that environment. Things are going out of hand, and we can't ignore this anymore, Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, the old heads, you remember how it was. And when we sit back and we look at the environment today, we know something is terribly wrong in the environment in Trinidad and Tobago, where families are concerned. And we have to address this. We have to look deep in every situation and scrutinize it and really come up with proper solutions. And again, the social arm of government within the Progressive Empowerment Party has second to none policies where this is concerned, because again, it's a several prong effect. It's policies that's enrolled within education, within the school system, policies that's on the ground where the home is concerned, within the social arm of things. Again, it's a holistic approach. When we talk about our young people being arrested, going into jail, and so on, again, we look at the reasoning as to, let's say a man makes a robbery or what have you. We are focusing there. We have not even considered taking a look further back, seeing the environment this individual came from, what they've had to deal with over the years, or the point is information. Simple thing. Information is what would allow us to be able to have a clearer outlook as to the environment that we're dealing with, or the situation that we may be dealing with. So again, hats off to Ms. Spencer with the program of Adopt a Classroom program, and where that is concerned, I guess they are interacting with young people and opening their minds and exposing them to different things, giving them more information. It's again, hats off to Ms. Spencer. We would be getting a little more information on that. In fact, I was supposed to be in contact with her today, but it did not pass as I had expected. So hopefully on a later show, maybe on Wednesday, if we do have dialogue and so on, I would definitely see if we can have her either call in, if not her, be able to actually be on the show in itself. So definitely look out for that. So again, in the news, we have 15 MPs up for re-election, and this is on the yellow side. They are talking about putting 15 of their guys that's there back again, and recycled politicians is what we're seeing. What have they done for the last 4 going on 5 years? Yes, you're not in government, but you're in opposition. We've had that discussion and dialogue before in other shows previous to this one, as to what is your MP doing in your constituency? How connected are they with the citizenry that they represent? These are serious questions, simply because you have a greater part of a population in a given constituency that would have appointed an individual to speak on their behalf, to seek their interests. And again, we look across the board in Trinidad and Tobago, every single constituency is dealing with just about the same issues and problems. And it's just the fact that us Trinidadians are always holding the shitty end of the stick, and this have to stop, Trinidad. Really, really and truly, this have to stop. We must wake up and smell the coffee and hold the people that we place in government accountable, really, really accountable, for bringing a level of betterment and sanity to you in your constituency, where things are working, things are fixed, everything is in order. And again, hold your MPs accountable. It's an election year. These guys are going to come around and say all the sweet stuff to you. But again, the track record shows, you have a track record to show exactly what has been done within any given constituency in Trinidad and Tobago. And at the end of the day, that should say all. That really, really, really should say all. And, the people in itself, yes, we have a two-party, or had a two-party system primarily. So there was not much choice for the population. I'm saying that it's, I would say, one of the contributing reasons why our population has gone from, left to right, yellow and red. Now you have a new option. You have the Progressive Empowerment Party. We have wonderful policies that work, that is broken down to the fine tooth comb, where we can dissect, show how these programs are going to work, cost factors involved, time frame. Again, 2 weeks ago, I believe, or was it last week, Monday, we had an interview with a call-in. I believe it's Grass Labs, which is a company. We were discussing cannabis, and the benefits, the different industries, where we were talking about industrial, medicinal, and recreational. But the focus was really placed where the medicinal as well as industrial aspects are concerned. The point is that we were talking about UNC saying that they are going to be bringing 50,000 jobs if you place them into government. That was it, full stop. How are we going to do this? What's the mechanism that is planned to roll out? How are you planning to really accomplish getting work for our population, putting 50,000 people off of the breadline, employed? How? We've asked the question, and it's very vague. Again, with our interview that we had a week ago, just within the marijuana industry in itself, with 3 different models that we can choose from, and our plan is really to develop all 3 models. You're talking about being able to hire 1,000 people in each constituency. Do the math. That's 41,000 citizens right there. Right there. 1,000 constituents in each constituency. And that's just a ballpark mark, because the industry in itself, once developed right, I am 100% sure we're going to need even greater manpower to further develop this industry in itself, because again, we're looking at recreational, medicinal, and industrial applications towards this. You have the government in itself that has brought decriminalization to it, and yet still not really knowing exactly how to streamline this new industry being presented to us. And I keep saying it's being used for the young people, because the emphasis is on the recreational use of it. That's what that's the lingo on the ground, that's what they're using in the public space. And really and truly, when you hear, for example, like Alwari or any one of those ministers where this is concerned, talking about them having to still talk to the agriculture sector, talking about sourcing seed stocks and all these different things, you still have people arrested and locked away in jail for something that is decriminalized right now. What are we really doing, Trinidad and Tobago? I mean, let's pick sense from the nonsense now, man. Really and truly, let us pick sense from the nonsense. We are doing this way too long, and Trinidad and Tobago is poised to be a great country in the world on an international level. We have that potential, and it's a matter of simply having the will to be able to place ourselves nationally as a country in that position, and that boils down to the leaders that we've had. 11 administrations come and gone since independence, and what do we really have to show for it? Really and truly, Trinidad and Tobago, look around, compare ourselves to other countries around the world, same size or even smaller. Most are doing a lot better than Trinidad and Tobago, and the question is why, especially a country that has so many resources and being positioned the way we have. Really and truly, it's mind-boggling to just realize and see to yourself the environment that we are living and operating in. It just shows total failure by our leaders thus far, and this is something that has to change. I want to give some condolences to our friend Stephen Rees, his cousin passing, Mr. Kingsley Rees, I believe yesterday. Again, accept our condolences there, Stefan. We can never get accustomed to death. It is something we can never get accustomed to. So it's the only thing that we're all sure to do, but in the same breath, again, it's not something that we can get accustomed to ever. So again, condolences there, Ms. Stefan, on your family's passing. So you have people going back up for re-election and not being able to show what they have actually done for their constituencies, and yet you're going to go and talk sweet and do what is necessary to try to get your votes. Trinidad and Tobago, really and truly, wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up. We cannot be doing the same thing over and over and over and truly expect a different result. You have a new political vehicle on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago that is seeking the actual interests of the people. Again, you're not sure, come down 19 Stanmore Avenue, 12 noon, any Saturday, come down and hear for yourself, see for yourself the questions that you may want to ask in dissecting certain policies down to the ground, in the nitty-gritty, in understanding how these things work and where you as a citizen can actually benefit from it. It is your responsibility to know. Take the initiative and come find out. Meet the team. Meet who's brokering to be in government on your behalf, to speak for you, to seek your interests. Know these people personally. Understand who they are and what they're about. I mean, again, it's simply having the people with the will in bringing real change, seeking betterment for the people. No brainer, Trinidad and Tobago. So, other news that we're having right now. PM seeks to deepen agriculture and energy links with Ghana. I don't even know where to start with this. I really do not have an idea where to start with this, because it simply makes no sense. No sense. Trinidad and Tobago, we know agriculture. Is it developed? Our country, Trinidad and Tobago, is Trinidad and Tobago developed? Agriculture. Just agriculture. Let's just touch on agriculture right now, because the Prime Minister wants to assist in Ghana's development. Mr. Prime Minister, my only question to you this morning is, what about Trinidad and Tobago's development? What is happening? I mean, forget about the 57 years gone by. Let's just focus on the 4 years and some months, almost 5 years, that you have been in government. You and your administration. What is there to show where development is concerned? I mean, I just don't know Trinidad. This is our leaders. This is the Prime Minister, Commander-in-Chief of Trinidad and Tobago. And the man has gone to another country to develop them. And I ask again, what about Trinidad and Tobago? Diversification of the economy. I mean, really and truly, PM promoting cocoa tourism. Really? But yet the cocoa industry is not well developed here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't understand. Are we putting the carriage before the horse? How is this working really? I mean, who are the people that's advising our leaders? Because I don't want to believe this is what's coming out of their own brains. I mean, really, Trinidad and Tobago. Man, this is just, again, you know, at the start of the show, it's business as usual in Trinidad and Tobago, you know. The same issues we're dealing with, the same problems still ongoing. No solution in sight. And why is that? Failure of our leadership. That's just what it is. Failure of our leadership. So we're looking at, again, Prime Minister trying to deepen ties within agriculture and energy, helping develop Ghana. And nobody says no. Great gesture. I love it. It's wonderful. But again, Mr. Prime Minister, all I'm saying, Trinidad and Tobago needs major development. We have been stifled for way too long, and you know, we need to have leaders or a leader that is able to create a proper agenda for Trinidad and Tobago and its development. Not just on a national level for the country in itself, but we're talking about development for the citizens also, bringing a proper level of hope and opportunity for our citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. So we don't have that constant brain drain, people seeking to always jump the shores and go to a first world country and try to lay down roots there. It needs to happen right here. And the only way that can happen is if we can create an environment of hope and opportunity. It's the only way it can happen. So, Mr. Prime Minister, again, I am very much disturbed in seeing this is the direction that we are planning to go thus far. Again, this is the example that we are presenting to the public as our citizens. You know, we are seeking interest for others versus having to seek the interest for ourselves right here in Trinidad and Tobago. This goes the same. Another example with the mass that they reported Trinidad sent to China and all of that. I hear some talk that they were saying that it's not true and everything else. So how did it get to in the public space to begin with for it to be reported? You know, again, it's all misdirection. You just don't know what to believe anymore, because especially you have agencies or news agencies, I should say, like what's trending now is fake news. You know, we're not doing what is necessary in getting the factual information and presenting it to the public, as well as giving the public all the information that is necessary for them to assist in making a better decision. And that's just where we are. The population is constantly being stifled of information, so they're not able to make proper decisions and being misdirected and fooled. and you know, we're just eating it all up, jamming still, and you know, the old saying, we like it so, but no, we can't like it so, Trinidad. We cannot. We're in a position right now that is we as a country here, Trinidad and Tobago as a country is very, very vulnerable, and we're in a place and position right now. Anything happening around the world can heavily affect us here. You know, without anything directly happening on the ground here in Trinidad, anything major happening around the world, we will be affected in a serious way. And you know, we have a couple other point notes here that would dovetail right into that in itself. And a prime example, for example, recently in international news, you have Putin, which is Russia, actually, that's just starting an oil price war, which is trying to bring the price of oil down. And that in itself is going to have a ripple effect globally. Trinidad and Tobago, we just do what? Throw Petrotrin away? Because really and truly, 18 months later, Petrotrin still remains closed. We're still not having all the information which is necessary to us, knowing what has happened to our Petrotrin, the people's Petrotrin. You know, you have the PNM government that we put there, and I still can't remember them coming and asking the people what to do with this. It was just something that they choose to do, and you know, we fall right back where the opposition is concerned, staying quiet the entire length and breadth of this exercise in basically crashing and burning Petrotrin. That's just what it's come down to. And who again is seeking the interests of the people? Who is seeking the interests of the people? This is an ongoing issue, you know, Trinidad and Tobago, and you know, we talk about all the news happening and all the different things going on around in Trinidad and Tobago, and yes, we talk about it, and it's basically business as usual. We still go about our day. We don't have our voices properly heard. Really and truly, we just have not had our voices properly heard. We've not put ourselves, and it's up to us, the people, to make that happen. Because again, I would say Petrotrin is something that really was the last backbone for Trinidad and Tobago, and really and truly is not to say that we wanted to hold on to that, but we know that it was generating income for Trinidad and Tobago. If it was done right, properly, we could have been in a better place where our oil and gas is concerned. But the environment globally now is veering away from that. We're looking at renewable energies, you know, clean energies. Why haven't we started development where that is concerned? Why do we still choose to be 10 steps behind versus taking a step forward, being proactive? Aye, Trinidad and Tobago. Well, time check. It's 6:30. We're going to take a quick break, and do stay tuned. We will be right back.
Antel is Trinidad's most reliable and technically experienced ICT company, providers of quality structured cabling, Cat6 data fiber and power cables. We also stock cabling infrastructure basket-type cable trays for server rooms and data centers. Antel also installs and maintains video security systems including cameras, alarms and electronic entrance locks for businesses and residential properties. Call Antel 674-1406 or 783-9250.
Trinidad and Tobago is in a crisis. For far too long, our people have been abused and silenced by our politicians and the business elite.
Just look around you. People are losing their jobs. Crime is at an all-time high. Our justice, education, and health systems have failed.
We all know the truth behind all that is wrong in our country. Corruption is destroying us. Billions of our dollars are being looted by a small group of business people that use our politicians to divide and distract us,
so they can take what they want, leaving us with no hope for a better country.
All of this is because we've never had leaders who seek the interests of the citizenry as their first priority.
I am here because I'm not taking it anymore.
I am here because I am not taking it anymore.
I am fed up of politics as it is in Trinidad and Tobago.
It is time we elect leaders with the backbone and the love of our people to go after the corrupt, evil elements in our country, hell-bent on serving their own pockets while we suffer.
And it is time that we as a nation take a collective stand against wrongdoing.
So we are making a plea to the nation to rally behind us.
Because our freedom of speech is being threatened by those who don't want us speaking out on these issues.
A man that I greatly respect is one of those leaders fighting for a better country. His name is Philip Edward Alexander, and he has bravely challenged the people and institutions that are destroying our nation.
To date, he has been threatened with 5 lawsuits for having the courage to ask state agency UDCOT on why the renovations of the President's house cost $89 million.
When experts in the field have estimated that that job should have never crossed 20 million.
Where did the rest of our money go?
We refuse to stand by and allow any agency to use our courts to try and silence and punish Philip or any other citizen of our country for trying to seek the truth.
If you're fed up of corruption and want to be a part of real change, support Philip and the Progressive Empowerment Party in this fight.
This fight is not for him or us to bear alone.
It is a fight for you, our loved ones, and our friends.
It is a fight for the future of our country.
You can help by making a contribution to Philip's legal fees and help him and PEP expose the truth and shine light over the darkness of corruption. Go to our website at peptt.com, click on donate and see all the ways you can pitch in.
There is hope. Our country can be saved, but we all need to stand together. My name is Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support. I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
Yes, and we are back. Once again, welcome. Plain Talk in the Morning. I'm your host, Anthony Dufu, Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party. And yes, it's Monday, 9th March. Wonderful morning, Trinidad and Tobago. And I hope for those of you now joining us, getting ready for work or on your way into work, I do hope that you have a safe commute. But yeah, we were touching on several different things happening around the country in our first half hour. In fact, we're going to probably be opening up the lines if you guys want to give a call in. That would be 347 4737 347 4737. You can also give me a call on my number as well, 6884012. Let me know what's happening in your neck of the woods. It's a Monday morning. Let's get it happening right now. If you can. Again, that number is 347 4737 347 4737. So yes, give us a call and let's hear what's happening in your area. If you want to touch base with us. Just touching on a couple other things that's happening in the news. There's an activist getting 7 days in jail for cursing MP Hines. This is funny. I think that was on that occasion where he had water splashed on him. I don't know, boy. I stand personally, Anthony Dufu, stand for freedom of speech. And I'm not saying that it's okay to curse anybody. That's not what I'm saying at all. Okay, Trinidad and Tobago, it's not okay to curse anyone. But I do still believe that people should have a level of free speech. Full stop. As to what the penalty should be, I don't know. I think jail is just too harsh. It's really just too harsh. A fine maybe, but really, you put a man in jail for cussing you. I don't know why we insist that we want to create an environment where our government ministers are concerned and put them on a pedestal as if they're kings and queens and they must look down on the people and it's as if the people are peasants. I have a problem with that. I really do. I said in the last show, we have to get away from the lingo of saying putting people in power where public servants are concerned, MPs working for you. Really and truly, we're not putting anybody in power. We must keep in mind the power is the people. The people are the ones who have the power, because that individual would not have anything called power if the people didn't put them there to begin with. Let's kind of wrap our heads around that concept for a second now. Really, Trinidad and Tobago. I mean, we are preaching, we're trying for you to understand, and all these shows that we're doing here in the Progressive Empowerment Party between Philip, myself, Felicia, Lima, Natalia, and many others, is about bringing information to you, the citizen, because we understand and we've seen that the citizens are the ones who are lacking information, who do not know their rights, don't know the laws, don't know how things are really supposed to work, where their rights lie, and that has been the problem over the years. Now for the last 3 years, since the Progressive Empowerment Party has been created, again, it's about putting information into the public space for the population to understand, so this way you can make better decisions. That's the gist of it. That's it right there. So we can't, we just, look, again, in my mind, I'm not saying it's okay for you to curse anyone, to have foul language. I'm not saying that. Alright, I'm just saying, personally, Anthony Defoe, this is my personal view here, I am not thrilled of the fact that a citizen has to spend time in jail for cursing, for having freedom of speech, being able to say what they would like to say, period, full stop. And again, I just believe maybe a fine would be more in order, but you're putting a man in jail? Really? I don't know. I just think we can do better than this, Trinidad and Tobago. And again, this is my personal view. We can do a lot better. I've lived abroad for several years, and cursing is not illegal in the US. A first world country. It's not. I'm not saying for us to outright just simply make it legal for you to be able to curse anybody normal. Although we do it anyway. No one else has been arrested. Well, in recent time we do have cases of people being arrested, but still, I mean, Trinidad, we need to really understand we're in the year 2020. It is the 21st century. We can't continue practicing the draconian laws. It's not horse and carriage outside, man. It's not. It's really not. We are excelling in technology. We are moving society forward, but yet we're still trying to have the mentality of the yesteryears. This is not the 18th century. This is not 19 '08 or anything like that. It's not. It's the year 2020, and we're supposed to be more forward thinking than where we are right now. Our laws are supposed to make much more sense, and yet it doesn't. You know, we talk to many past leaders, and the question has always been posed. You know, why hasn't there been any reform where our laws are concerned? Why have we not developed better than where we are right now today? Why haven't our economy had proper diversification? And we've here, the Progressive Empowerment Party have identified so many different industries that we can develop. I mean, you know, we're talking tourism. Yeah, tourism is just one of the scratches on the surface that we can develop. You know, we have agriculture, we have shipping, we have local manufacturing, we have a host of things that we can present to the world, that we can create an environment of diversification where economy is concerned, where we have different avenues, different streamlines of income being contributed towards our GDP, where again we create a much better robust environment, more economically stable, where we have monies running through the system, people are being paid well, you have value in your pocket, you have a bang for your buck, but that's not the case right now. In fact, I think maybe on the Wednesday show, if not next Monday, we're supposed to have some footage on a single mother shopping in Trinidad and Tobago's environment, in the groceries and supermarkets and so on. We want to bring a presentation to you where we're looking at a minimum wage earner and how the breakdown really is as far as their costs for living, your rent, your lights, your phone, if you have cable, your traveling money to get back and forth to work, to move around, basically, to send your kid to school. What does that cost to the average citizen? How much is it to actually live day to day, week to week, month to month? We want to bring a clear presentation to you, Trinidad and Tobago. So we're actually right now working on that. I'm hoping to have that footage completed within the next few days. And again, we will specifically create a show or a segment within a show that can actually feature that to you. So you can, and it's not to say that you don't know, you know. It's not to say the population don't know. But again, it's a matter of presentation and breaking things down and really understanding the worth of the money that you have in your pocket and how far that can actually get you, especially as a single parent, whether it be man or woman. Depends again on how many kids you have and just the environment that you're living in. Trinidad, we just need to understand. It's about understanding. It's about having a level of clarity in your mind within the environment that we live in. Something that can make sense to you, something that you can actually relate to. Because we've been throwing around over the last 50 some odd years from our leaders lots of big words and speaking so vaguely. Again, not giving the citizen all the information which is necessary for them to make a proper decision for themselves. It sounds nice. It seems as if he knows what he's saying, and it looks as if they know what they're going to do. But when that time comes and goes, we are still the one that still have not had anything addressed and nothing fixed. It must stop now. Trinidad must. So again, activists get 7 days in jail for cursing Mr. Hines, and again, I just feel as if it's an environment of trying to silence the people. It should not be the case, and the rights of the people being eroded, basically. You know, it's I have a little fly flying around here. You know, it's not It's disturbing. It's disturbing. Waking up in Trinidad and Tobago every day it's let me tell you. I feel sick to my stomach because I know that we can have a better place, you know. I know Trinidad could be so much better. It's just a matter again, the will Trinidad and Tobago to get the job done. That's where we need to be. So again, my take on that, freedom of speech, infringement, they're trying to silence the people. The man should not get 7 days. I say maybe give him a fine, right? Give him a fine him, or you know, something along those lines. But don't just take the man, throw him in jail, man. Come now, we could be better than that. We can be better than that, really and truly. Because why was Mr. Hines cursed? Did anybody ask that question? Why? Just think about it for a second, please. The man didn't wake up and just walk out your house and cuss the man just so, you know. Understand what's going on here? The citizen did not get up out of his home and see Mr. Hines passing and just say, boy, just feel to cuss this man, boy, and just cuss him night as day. The reason for the man doing that is because he was not happy. The minister that was supposed to take care of issues in his community, in his constituency, was not doing anything. Has not done anything. They are dealing with flooding. They have sewage coming out into drains and no hope and opportunity. No jobs and look now, man, really and truly, I would have cussed too. Because if I read my finger to put it, I expect to be living in I mean, my situation is supposed to be somewhat better than where it is, not worse. Not worse. And it's still not being accountable for my position as a citizen in your constituency. Really? But yet you all and your peers in government can talk $60 billion budgets. Where's this money going? Where is this money going? $60 billion? Really? Trinidad and Tobago? New York City, 8 million people, them spending $1 billion US, 10 to 1. Right? We talking pongs. When I'm using the US dollar, that's 10 billion TT. We are 1.4 and we spending 60 billion TT dollars. Really? Trinidad? Just shows the height of mismanagement that we are dealing with, the gross incompetence by the people that is supposed to bring a level of betterment to the population. The said people that was in what they campaigned for months, you know. Vote for me, put me there, and I will bring betterment to you. I doing this, I doing that, and I doing the other. And when they reach, what is the problem? What is the problem? Why is it no one is able to really bring a level of sanity to the population? Why nothing is working? We continuously ask the question, why are we still, look, WASA right now, I saw something on social media there with some citizens, a couple citizens actually across the board in Trinidad, opening their pipes and the water coming out black from WASA, calling them to find out what's going on. Nobody have no response, nobody answering no phone. Really? Come now. Listen now. I just try not to get so deep into it because I just get a headache. Because again, these are people who say they have masters and bachelors and they're so educated and where is that? Where is that? Is it that our leaders lack common sense? Because normal people on the road coming up with I think great solutions to a lot of the issues that we're dealing with. I speak to many citizens across the board, and you're talking about normal people. We ain't talking about a man coming out of UE who have a master's or a bachelor's. We're talking about a normal citizen that can turn around and say, boy, I had traffic in my area here in Chaguanas. Yes, we can do this to alleviate traffic in this area. simple solutions by regular citizens. We have people who are saying that they are so bright and doing the garbage that they're doing. Trinidad, we can't run down hair color or skin tone or who black or who Indian or who red or who yellow. Forget all of that now, man. Or even who is orange. Forget that. Forget it. Forget it, Trinidad and Tobago. Really, you have to scrutinize the individuals going in who is asking for your vote then. You have to scrutinize them. You have to question them. Don't let anybody just come onto a stage and say, well, we're going to be doing this and we're going to do that. Like Auntie Cam's coming on stage, I think, in a Monday night forum, talking about bringing 50,000 jobs for the population, for people. How are you going to do that? What is your blueprint or model that is going to allow 50,000 of our citizens being able to get employment? How is that? That's my question for the morning. That is the Monday morning question. By any administration for that matter. For anybody going up in this 2020 election. Whether it be PNM, whether it be UNC, whether it be MSJ, whether it be COP, whether it be who. What are your plans to fix or help the situation for our citizens where employment is concerned? I spoke earlier just from one industry, and we're not, and you know, I just have to emphasize, yes, we talk about marijuana. Forget the fact of recreational. And why I would emphasize on forgetting recreational applications for marijuana is because it's been illegal in Trinidad and Tobago for donkey years. And we have had a large portion of the population consuming this recreationally and medicinally as well, but primarily recreationally. So it's now decriminalized, and the yardstick that the PNM is using right now to fool the people, believe, especially the young people, saying, well, you know, it's decriminalized now, you can have your 4 plants and 30 grams and all of this tralala. Again, without the proper information for the citizenry, they simply don't know. So they're simply thinking to themselves, wow, it's decriminalized. Yeah, boy, we could go and take a smoke and everybody happy-go-lucky. Yeah, we go vote the PNM. Great is the PNM. Come now, man, no. What is great about that when you could still get locked up? Not even from the 4 plants that you're growing, but from one. Because guess what? One plant producing 300 grams. One. Think of that for a second. But it's legal for you to have 30 grams. You see what's happening here? Do you wrap your head around exactly what is taking place here? You had the said administration PNM talking when they initially decriminalized it, talking about we can have 4 meal plants. That in itself, just to show you, these people don't have a clue what it is they're talking about. They have no idea. It's either that or they're plain stupid. So I would say both. They don't have a clue and they are plain stupid. You know, so it's a double-sided coin. And in no way, form, or fashion it's in any benefit to them, because they're not looking good. No one on the political landscape outside of the Progressive Empowerment Party presently is looking good in any way whatsoever. Because I will pose the question again. Anti-Camps talk about 50,000 jobs that they're going to bring into the system being placed into government. How? Tell me how. Because we know here in the Progressive Empowerment Party that within the cannabis industry, with medical and industrial applications, we can put 1,000 feet employed in each constituency. We can revive, and that is dovetailing into the agriculture sector. You want to know how to revive and diversify the economy. I mean, right there, the agriculture sector getting a boost, and and we have not even touched on food. We have not touched on direct food that we are consuming, where agriculture is concerned. Think about it. Trinidad and Tobago. Progressive Empowerment Party could put 41,000 jobs straight off the bat. Straight off the bat. 1,000 people in every constituency. That's 41,000 people. We are 9,000 people shy of the 50,000 mark that Anticam's talking. But up to now, I still don't know what they are actually going to do systematically in creating that figure to be a reality. 50,000 jobs. That's what they said. Big and bold. Vote for Wina, man. 50,000 jobs, 50,000 citizens would get work under our administration. No, we're still trying to find out how. Where you all going and put people? What kind of money these people are going to be making? Are these 50,000 jobs that minimum wage earners? Because nobody asks that question yet. Is this jobs that is on the minimum wage spectrum? Is that what we're talking about? Because I can guarantee you, within the cannabis industry, where that application is concerned, you ain't going to be paid no minimum wage. And it's just to show there's a lot of money that can be made just from the marijuana industry, where the medicinal and industrial applications are concerned. I'm not touching recreational use. I'm not touching recreational use at all. We have been misdirected, misinformed for decades upon decades, all around the world, not just here in Trinidad, all around the world. I mean, my grandmother hear me talking. Well, I shouldn't even say my grandmother, because my grandmother actually used to practice a medicinal form of marijuana consumption for. And back then it was all about herbs. I remember her boiling bacano bush or leaf. When I had the cold, sick, you have fever grass, you have all these different things, and that right there in itself, I would also say, for us to have proper development and identification to these natural remedies, to these again, for us to be forward thinking about Trinidad and Tobago. That's all I'm trying to preach here. Forward thinking here in Trinidad and Tobago, and time real flying today, boy. That's what happens when you're having fun. But anyway, we are doing a time check. Director, time check already. Okay, so it's right now 6:59 a.m. 1 minute away from 7 o'clock. We're going to pay a couple bills, have a couple ads run, and we will be right back. Trinidad and Tobago. Stay tuned.
On the average day in Trinidad and Tobago, upwards of 250,000 people spend between 3 and 5 hours in traffic on their way to Port of Spain to work in government offices, only to repeat the same insanity at the end of the working day. Entire generations have been raised in the back seats of cars, and people have been talking for decades about how do we solve this problem. We've known since the 80s that the solution to that traffic problem and all of our traffic problems is to decentralize all of those government offices out of Port of Spain. We could essentially have virtual offices where people could telecommute from the communities they live in to do the same jobs they spend 5 hours getting to a government office in Port of Spain for right now. Decentralization would save us billions of dollars in lost man hours. The Progressive Empowerment Party proposes to decentralize out of Port of Spain all government offices to a new government campus in the center of the island, equidistant from all corners. This would facilitate a shorter commute for most people and prevent everyone trying to get into and out of Port of Spain at the same time. Have you ever noticed that when schools are closed, the traffic is less? This is because so many of our people have the ridiculous situation of having to drop children in constituencies far-flung from where they live or work, or have multiples of children going to school in different constituencies, parents coming from San Fernando dropping children to school in Chaguanas, Arima, Port of Spain. The Progressive Empowerment Party proposes, among other things, an education system that assigns a GPA to each child that would allow for the continuous monitoring of performance, making every school potentially a prestige school, and ending the need for choosing schools far-flung across the island, looking for the best opportunities for your child. If all our schools operate from under the same Ministry of Education, receive the same funding, are guided by the same syllabus and curriculum, how then do we explain some schools being prestige and others not? It is time to fix all of that, and fixing this and making it possible for children to go to school where they live will also end traffic. Between decentralizing and zoning of schools, all of that cross-island traffic that caused so much problems for so many would be gone. Isn't it time that we opted to operate this country more like a first world nation and less like a backwater banana republic? Why would we need to inflict so much misery on so many when the solution is so simple? Is it because friends and financiers of political parties own the buildings that the government offices operate in? Could it be something as heinous as that? Is it something that we could address and deal with from the position of putting the people of this country first and not the pockets and the profits of friends and family of those in office? It is time that we had a government in office that took the people's interests first, that recognized that the role and responsibility of government is the well-being and happiness of all the citizens of the country and not just a select few. We could fix all of this, including traffic and more. You have the opportunity now, you have the chance now to vote into office a government that can fix these problems, a government that is willing to face these problems, a government that's willing to come to you and discuss with you all of the issues that have us existing as a failed nation, a banana republic, a narco state, a hellhole. We could turn all of it around. Trinidad does have the capacity to be a beautiful place, a paradise, first world, one of the wealthiest nations in the world. But that won't happen if we continue business as usual and pretend that having upwards of 250,000 people drive across the island 3 to 5 hours morning and evening every day is anything that we need to continue. The country that we want is on the other side of our vote. The choices that we make now should develop and transform this country into a developed nation, a first world nation where we could all benefit. I am Philip Edward Alexander, and this has been a little more than 3 minutes to a better Trinidad and Tobago.
Once again, welcome back, Trinidad and Tobago. Welcome to Pep Talks in the Morning. My name is Anthony Defoe, Deputy Political Leader and your host for today's show. Again, we were touching on several different things. We are going to, in fact, the phone lines are open, so feel free to give a call, 347-4737, or you can actually call 688-4012. And again, feel free, you have an open platform where you can speak about any issue that's going on in your constituency, or if you have any particular questions that you might want to ask, feel free, please give us a call, and we'll do what is necessary in order to address your question or concern. So again, that number is 347-4737, as well as 688-4012. So again, the madness is real. Trinidad and Tobago, it is your responsibility to know the individuals that is asking for your vote, understand the policies that they are trying to present to you in the public space as a citizen, where you are able to benefit from that. They must have a clear outline on how this is going to happen, where you're going to actually gain some level of benefit, and from there you make a decision, a conscious decision for yourself and your family in moving ourselves forward. keep in mind, we cannot continue doing the same thing. Hear me? We cannot continue doing the same thing and expect a different result. Doesn't work. Doesn't work. And it's a sign of insanity. So, they say that Trinidadians is mad people, but I want to refuse to believe that, and I am hoping that the population of Trinidad and Tobago can prove me wrong this coming election, that they are not mad people. Regardless of who you used to vote for before, the point is that you have options now, outside of what we've had. It is your responsibility, Trinidad and Tobago, to get the information, understand what is being said to you, and we try our best to bring things to break things down to in layman's terms, so you simply can have the opportunity to understand what's being said to you. Really, it's important you understand Trinidad and Tobago, because we're in this position because of ourselves. Yes, we want to blame the leadership of the past, and that's only because we as a population expected the leadership to really seek the interests of the people. I mean, after coming out of slavery, how many centuries, and in recent time, we were fortunate enough to get independence. We had actual control of our destiny as a nation, and yet 57 years later we have nothing to show for it. The people is not in a better position. In fact, they're in a worse position. We have a large portion of the population leaving the shores, and we want to act as if it's business as usual, and no, it should not be business as usual. And talking about that, JSC it's told social services badly failing those in need. And again, this is nothing new. This is nothing new, Trinidad and Tobago, at all. It is nothing new. We know that the social services have been failing the people. Not now. It's not now. Really. Trinidad and Tobago is not now. The social arm has been failing the people. You may have one or two cases that may have been may have a good story to tell, but it's very far few and in between. Very far few and in between. What about the population at large? What about all the citizens? Isn't the social sector seeking the interests of the citizenry as a whole? Again, the mechanisms don't work efficiently. We have systematic problems across the board. These are the things that have to be addressed. We say here the PEP, reboot the republic. And we mean that. We really mean that. We need to be able to create again, laws that can be up to time, up to the 2020 period, 21st century, man. And that's what we're seeing. Next at a bacchanal taking place right now, regionally I should say, is Guyana elections. And this I am not saying that I'm happy that the entire craziness that is happening on the ground in Guyana right now, where the election is concerned, I'm not going to say that I'm happy for that taking place, but in a sense I am, because we have the international community looking in, and there's many discrepancies where the Guyanese election is concerned for 2020, and in reality I think what positive may come out of that is, for our own election later on this year, we would want to ensure that there are international spectators looking in on the entire process, that we have bodies on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago ensuring that everything is on the up and up, and no one is trying to deal any underhanded business where this election is concerned. Because this election 2020 in Trinidad and Tobago, in my mind, I certainly believe that this is something, it's going to be like no other in our history here in Trinidad and Tobago, this coming election. Because I think there's a lot on the line right now. A lot of talk on the ground within the political environment. A lot of people don't want to see the Progressive Empowerment Party in government because we do plan to really do a proper audit across the board in Trinidad and Tobago with every state body, every last one. There's a lot of answers that we need to find to the questions that we've posed into the public space, and we intend to get the answers for them. We have to. Guyana right now is a proper example to see how things there are systematically being done, especially with the discrepancies that they are dealing with right now. I'm hoping really and truly Trinidad does not have to deal with that, but if we are proactive enough and ensuring that we can have certain bodies on the ground here in Trinidad for our election process, I think we would be in an okay place because we need oversight. Corruption is too much of a big business in Trinidad and Tobago, and in our minds, we do believe that a lot is going to be done to ensure that gravy train can continue. Again, our purpose here at the Progressive Empowerment Party is to help empower the people, give them information, inform the people, and again, information is what would allow you, the citizen, to make a better decision. Common sense must be able to prevail in this instance. Must. The population is waking up slowly but surely. Presently, they're still trying to block PEP on national media, in national media houses, within their news segments and so on. Again, they know why. Don't worry, they know why. So Guyana elections 2020, irregularities in the election process is taking place right now on the ground there, and I do hope that they can come to a resolution. I say, boy, just do the vote over, yes? Do the whole damn thing over. Just scrap the initial election. Let me run the numbers again. Let the people come out. If the people is at the point to riot and there's a lot of chaos taking place on the ground, it means to say that the people want to have clarity. They want to have their voices heard. They're not going to just do this just for the heck of it. Guyana is a very interesting place right now, especially as this country has recently found oil. That in itself is a very big deal because there's more money that most likely will be coming into the treasury, more money to steal, as they say. But again, is ensuring that proper systems are in place for accountability and transparency. But that's Guyana's affairs. Our focus needs to be here in Trinidad and Tobago on how are we going to treat with our own election that's coming up. Again, we talk about all the political parties on the ground here in Trinidad and Tobago, and you as a citizen, you have to take the opportunity in understanding and knowing your candidates that's being presented to you. The Progressive Empowerment Party in itself, we will be having our candidate presentation taking place March 21st, and that's at 5 p.m. here at 19 Stanmore Avenue. So definitely as the days and weeks go by, you're going to get more information on that. There's going to be a great big promotion taking place where that is concerned, because we are really excited to be able to present our candidates to the population. And again, like they say, put the wheels on the track and make this happen for you, Trinidad and Tobago, because our job here is to serve you, our job here is to inform you, our job here is to empower you, our job here is to create an environment of betterment for you. the citizen of Trinidad and Tobago. Bottom line, simple thing. We here as regular citizens know what you've been dealing with for decades, and again, our leaders have shown us their gross incompetence in bringing that betterment to us, and ensuring things can work, and them simply being able to do the job. So is why us as regular citizens have gravitated towards this political vehicle called the Progressive Empowerment Party, because the policies are second to none. Right here, I'm going to show you again. 21 policies at a glance, and this is 21 policies out of the 100 that we plan to roll out to the public in bringing change for Trinidad and Tobagonians. I want to touch on one of the policies actually, and we spoke earlier about oil and gas and the impact that it's going to have here in Trinidad, as to what's happening in the world internationally, because we have presently Russia that is doing a price war now with Saudi Arabia, bringing down price of oil, and that in itself is going to have a ripple effect on the American economy, because they themselves you know, the driver in the world really is the US dollar, and that's backed by oil in itself. Really and truly, Trinidad and Tobago, we are not in a good position. Something like this really cascading into a really bad international situation where that is concerned. Again, even though we don't have much of a Petrotrin, because our great PNM administration have gotten rid of that, basically, because we still 18 months later have not heard a word as to what's happening where Petrotrin and that whole situation is concerned, and that again is very, very, very disturbing. So yeah, the point is that we have major issues that we have to be looking at and taking serious consideration on. Today, Monday, also, where the smaller political parties are concerned, I hear that they are having a meeting of sorts today in trying to create a coalition. It's a good initiative. Have your talks and you know, see where your guys' heads are at. Again, I strongly believe, and Progressive Empowerment Party Trinidad and Tobago, it's your way forward. That's all I'm saying. Come, let us come together as a nation and move the country forward. Bottom line, we can talk all we want, you know. The question is are the policies being presented into the public ones that will work, where people can see the benefit from that? That's the question. All the talk. Again, Trinidad, you have to have the people that you want to represent you. You need to know these people. They must be accountable. They must give you some level of information for you to understand the way forward. So, smaller political parties coming together, all well and good. Here at the Pep again. When you guys figure out yourselves, feel free, come by, see us. We can talk, and we can hear where exactly your head's at, and you know, where you would like to go with this, and how the policies in itself, where we would like to bring betterment, how they can actually be on the same page, because that's just what it is, you know. We just simply need to understand everything and simply be on the same page. I can't be on page 1 and you on page 10. Again, spinning wheels in mud. We are spinning wheels in mud, really and truly. So, TNT under crime, economy, and coronavirus woes. And we know Trinidad and Tobago in a total mess. We're preaching that constantly. I mean, anyone addressing it? Anyone has a plan to fix it? Are we going to sit down twiddling our thumbs, hoping for the best? to see how well we can manage through this. We're still not fully prepared and ready for any type of outbreak taking place on the shores of Trinidad and Tobago. Sure. They can say what they want. They can say what they want. The health minister could say what he wants. Government in office right now can say what they want. We are not in a good position to deal with an outbreak on the shores in Trinidad and Tobago. Our health institutions, they're not ready. They're still not ready. All the talk that they are talking, they're still not fully ready. And this is from sources inside the hospital. This is from sources inside the hospital. And I'm hoping soon as well for us to have some footage on that also, where you have some hospital workers at the different facilities around the country that has had dialogue with me pertaining towards issues happening within the hospital in itself and their preparedness for a possible outbreak of the coronavirus here in Trinidad and Tobago. And what they're saying is, the state is not on the ball. They're not on the ball. They're really not. They're not being as proactive as they need to be, and they're not putting out enough information into the public, and just systematically doing what is necessary to safeguard the population in itself. We said on the last show, I think it was on Wednesday gone, where the health minister was talking about them having a stockpile of masks and other paraphernalia to help with to help protect with the coronavirus, but it's in storage until we are able to confirm a case here locally. and the funny part of that is that we are waiting to get a case confirmed in Trinidad before we are able to dispense what is needed for our frontline defenders to be protected. I don't know, I keep saying I just don't know. I don't know. I want someone to come to me and say, hey Anthony, as you as a citizen, this is what we're going to do for you. This is how you're going to benefit. This is the issue and this is the solution. And see it come to pass now, man. See it actually work. See myself, hey, as a citizen, gaining some level of benefit and betterment. And no, I'm not getting that. I'm not getting that. We are not in a good position at all, Trinidad, for an outbreak here. And I'm a little in fear. Me personally, Anthony, I'm in fear. Not just for myself, but for my family, for my friends, for everyone. Because I simply know that we are not prepared and ready for an outbreak. So, how much proactiveness are we going to create? How well prepared are we gonna be? And again, that in itself is really something that we have to seriously consider and seriously watch. And just for yourselves, Trinidad and Tobago, get as much information as possible. Do your own little research and know what you have to do as far as washing your hands, keeping your hands as clean as possible throughout the day, interacting, taking money out of your wallet, out of your purse. Yes, if you can get a hand sanitizer, it's good. Although they're saying that the hand sanitizer, almost bit my tongue off there. Hand sanitizers, they are not 100% proof unless it has an extremely high alcohol content in it. The best thing you can use, soap and water. Wash your hands continuously throughout the day. Try not touching your face, your eyes, nose, mouth, and that type of thing, because that would be your entry points for contamination for you to be infected or so, where you can get sick. So again, it's information, preparedness, and we do not have 1.4 million masks on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago. Not saying that although I believe we should have that. And earlier we were talking about the state sending masks to China, and yet we didn't even have a full stockpile here. And we still don't, because the private sector within the medical fraternity is saying that they are not able to have full stocks in what they need to deal with an outbreak here in Trinidad and Tobago. So that says a lot also. So I'm not sure what the state talking about. And again, is the state seeking the interest of all the people on the island? 1.4 million people? That's the next question for the day. So, Trinidad and Tobago. You have a huge responsibility come this election here in Trinidad and Tobago. The citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, you have a mountain of a responsibility in front of you. And you can actually have betterment if you make the right choice. If you get informed and have the right information. I don't know what can be done outside of what is being done right now by the Progressive Empowerment Party to convince you, for you to open your eyes, open your ears, open your mind, see, hear, and understand where your betterment lies. The betterment for your family. I'm just saying, why I'm saying this and why I'm putting so much emphasis on the population is simply because you are the ones to save us. You, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And again, I would say this. You did not have much choices before. And that is understood. We are jaded as a population, especially where politics is concerned, because we know, we've seen, we've lived. The fact that we simply have not had betterment and is not in a better place with hope and opportunity, it says all. 57 years come and gone, and we are in a worse position than where we was when we started. That's our real gruesome reality, you know. Really. Change is up to you. You have to choose that change, Trinidad and Tobago. I didn't feel like just waking up just for the heck of it at 4 in the morning to run down here to the studio to just simply talk. Yes, boy, you sound like you're saying the same thing over and over and over, but we have to sing it. We have to compound it in your mind. For you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to understand it is you that have the power to bring betterment. It is you. Power lies with you. The information is here. Political vehicle is here. The people to man the positions are here. And we want proper scrutiny. We want you to see every step of the way. We want you to question every single thing that's being done in your name. We need that. And we wouldn't accept it any other way. That's the difference you have now. That's what the Progressive Empowerment Party represent. Is what we present to you, the public. True servants of the people. For the people. That's our whole agenda. That's our whole reason for being here. I don't want to sit down in traffic for 2.5 hours to get to work. I don't. I'm tired of it. I am so sick of seeing traffic in Trinidad and Tobago. And again, simple solutions, simple traffic management protocols, and people being able to just simply do the bloody job. Do the job. I saw it was last week, I think Friday, by Maritime there in Barataria. There's a little roundabout, and on mornings and afternoons, but this instance it took place the morning, and that roundabout was a total mess. You had traffic going all the way over the flyover that was coming off the highway towards that roundabout there by Maritime. You had traffic coming up from Port of Spain that meets that same roundabout, traffic that's coming from Mover Junction that meets that said roundabout, as well as traffic that comes from Barataria in itself and environs that meet right at that said roundabout. And there were two officers trying, I have to say trying, to direct traffic by that roundabout. And you know the funny thing, I don't know if they, I don't know, boy. I just couldn't understand where their line of communication, as far as one guy allowing traffic to come down one way and the other one either holding or allowing traffic to come through. The traffic simply was not moving, and things was still somewhat, in fact not somewhat, but very chaotic. It just simply seemed as if they did not know exactly what they were doing. They weren't anticipating the change of light, how much traffic flow is passing from a particular point or distance, which would allow for that roundabout to have clarity, because that roundabout also gives you access onto the highway, which would take you east or westbound as well. But there was just so much traffic that nobody could have even gotten past that roundabout to get onto the ramp to either go east or west on the highway. Everything was just jam-packed. And I sat there and I'm looking at the police officers and I'm saying to myself, okay, so this guy is allowing these cars to come through here. They're blocking that roundabout altogether. The traffic that's supposed to be moving away from the roundabout, just taking that traffic, running it through. There was a stoplight which crosses the bus route that was on red, so traffic wasn't moving anywhere. I don't know, boy. I don't know. Traffic branch, what is going on with all your really and truly identify the areas and spots throughout the entire country now, man? What is our workforce within that department in itself? Are we able to put out enough people in the different areas throughout the country that is traffic ridden, to help solve the problem, or to at least have it addressed, or create a traffic system or plan that can make better sense? I mean, efficiency is the key, man. Trinidad, efficiency. When you have people frustrated and you sitting down in traffic, how do you think these people are going to operate when they go into the work? When you look at people working in the workplace, everybody face twist up, set up, who vex, and that's because of frustration. Nobody wants to sit in a car for 2 and 3 hours. Nobody wants to do it, and then to make matters worse, you're tired after the whole day and you have to go and do it again to go home. You really think that is right? You really think that making any kind of sense? Anyway, time check, director. Alright, so I went over just a little bit. We're going to be paying some bills, so we'll be right back. It's 7:34 right now. So we are on the last half hour of our show today, Pep Talks in the Morning. So again, stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Science says that countries that have the greatest number of home ownership among families have the lowest levels of crime. Trinidad and Tobago has massive poverty, runaway crime, and an economy that makes no sense to anyone looking in from outside. We also suffer from the impact of corruption and narco-trafficking dollars being hidden in real estate, driving the prices up and drying up the supply. Banking in Trinidad and Tobago, unregulated, our mortgage system creates a scenario where the average house, the average home, by the time it is fully paid off, would have cost the homeowner twice and more the value initially paid. The government can impact home ownership, redevelop the family, end crime, and take Trinidad and Tobago to first world status simply by securing the nation's borders to end the drug trade, and stuffing the containers on the port again to end the drug trade, to create a property tax system that calls for 0% tax on primary dwellings, a 5% tax on secondary homes, a 10% tax on third homes, 15% on fourth homes, and escalating until by the 10th house that you own is so onerous in taxes to keep that you have no choice but to sell it or pay full value of that house to the state every year. We need to do this to drive corruption dollars and drug dollars out of real estate and bring the prices back in reach with the average income, the average wage, the average salary. Trinbagonians do not get full value for their money, and that is a conversation we have to have. But when we're talking housing, to get the average person into their own home, it is a right and a privilege of the state to be able to offer to these people zero deposit, zero interest for up to 30 years on up to homes valued up to $1.5 million. This would reduce the mortgage payments to about $500 per $100,000. And if we remove the duties and the VATs and all of the taxes on all of the building materials and open the market to competition to drive the prices down, the cost of building the average 1,200 square foot starter home will not exceed $100,000. And with $500 a month as a mortgage payment, even minimum wage earners would be able to afford their own home. The numbers say that in countries where families own their own homes, crime is at its lowest. The Progressive Empowerment Party is very sure, in fact, we're certain, that of all the policies that we build our 21 policies on, home ownership is the most important of all the important ones. We propose zero deposit, zero interest for up to 30 years on homes up to $1.5 million. Normal bank lending criteria apply. In Trinidad and Tobago, no one policy has the greatest opportunity to impact upon the development of the society like home ownership. The Progressive Empowerment Party promises to make home ownership for all a central pillar in all of our economic development. I am Philip Edward Alexander, and this has been 3 Minutes to a Better Trinidad and Tobago.
Yes, Trinidad and Tobago, we are back once again. We are on the last half hour here for Pep Talks in the morning. Again, I'm now reading a little article here with the Chaguanas Mayor indicating that there are scores of domestic violence victims visiting her office, the Chaguanas Borough Corporation, I should say. Now, you know, we talk about the social arm of the state and how efficient is that arm. We know for a fact that it's not as efficient as it should be. So there's much redevelopment that needs to take place where that is concerned. And again, under Progressive Empowerment Party's government, that would probably be the largest ministry that we plan to roll out to the population. Simply because we know that the core issue that we are dealing with as a nation is a social problem. Again, broken homes, nothing working, you know, a lot of things simply not being addressed across the board within the home in itself, within our citizens, in their minds, in their environment. I mean, it's an ongoing thing, and you know, I'm not going to put that. Yes, a large portion of the population who are victims are women, but men are also victims as well. And it's is about seeking the interest of the citizen. The social arm should be more robust and systematic, where it works very, very efficiently to address the issues that our citizens are dealing with. So that in itself is very, very interesting. I was reading as well, a plumber was bonded for wearing camouflage pants. Now that's another whole, again, simply to show our draconian laws, because how are you locking up somebody for a pink camouflage outfit? How? Tell me. How is that? How does that actually work? Really? Or orange, or whatever color. Trinidad, we can do so much better, and I would keep insisting that. Again, feel free if you guys want to give a call in 347-4737. You can give a call. The phone lines are open. So again, 347-4737. A little reminder once again, on the 21st of March, presentation of candidates for the PEP will be taking place here at Stanmore, 5 p.m. So you certainly want to come down for that. Look out, much more information is going to be coming out into the public space. So this way, again, just check it out. Really check it out. Trinidad, for me today, I don't know, boy. We come in so close to the election, and it's about us giving a level of information to the public, engaging the public. Right now we're dealing with a couple situations by citizens in the San Juan, Santa Cruz area, some up in Arima as well as some down south. And again, with our constituency caretakers, that's engaging the population on the ground. Thus far, the archive information that we've gotten, in some cases we were able to help directly, and in some cases, we do need the state to not drag their feet. We try our best to put it into this public and push the state's hand in really addressing the issues that our citizens are dealing with. Presently, a lot of people are saying that we are doing the job of the opposition and we're not even in government, and it's very, very true, because we keep saying the UNC is in office right now, and they're the opposition, and they are supposed to really scrutinize what the government in itself, or should I say the PNM, is doing. Where is the betterment? Where is the accountability? Where is the transparency? Nobody's saying anything. We had this discussion yesterday. I was talking to a couple of people, and same thing was being said, where everyone finds that the opposition is silent. They may bring up an issue or a concern once or twice, but that's it. You don't hear about it after that. It's swept under the rug, and it's business as usual. Let's move on to the next item, and that's just what's been going on. And again, how is that seeking the interest of the people? How are you being an opposition, allowing a government to do basically what the heck they want to without real opposition? And we're not just saying to oppose just for opposing's sake, Pick sense from nonsense. See it as it is. And again, stand the ground for the people, on behalf of the people. I mean, that's the whole sole purpose of being there, It's not even just to warm the seat, collect a salary, and just be happy-go-lucky and wait to say, well, next term is we time now. Next election is we time now. I keep saying, who's the we? Who's the we? People of the yellow side, that's the we. When the red side get in, is we time now. So is just the red side, is people who support that red side. That's the we. As the election bell is ring and the last ballot was placed and counted, whoever is the winner from that outcome, it's no longer politics, it's governance. It's about how are you governing the country, how are you helping each and every citizen on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago, bringing a level of betterment, hope and opportunity to them. And that's just your whole sole purpose of being there. The sweet time now, we must be us as a whole, as Trinidad and Tobagonians. That's where we supposed to be, and that's what we're supposed to be forging for. So again, what are we planning to do for ourselves, Trinidad and Tobago? What? Are we going to still continue doing the same thing? I had a good friend of mine. He's a big follower for the UNC, and I think they have helped him in a couple instances. And again, I would say a couple instances. I mean, you have the UNC under the Pandey administration. You have UNC under Kamla PP administration. And again, one time that he had received some help from government at the time, which was the UNC. Was once under Pandey for one scenario, one situation, and second time was under PP. One situation, one scenario, and this is we're talking about 5 years in office, eh? And this man, I mean, brother, don't vex with me this morning. I ain't trying to shine you up in no way. I'm just using the interaction as an example of sorts. I would even say I have my own family members, for that matter, that under the PNM have gotten certain things as a one-time thing at some point in the past, and from then till now, it's red till a dead. And my question is that they're not producing for you, they're not bringing betterment for you. Yes, you may have had a benefit that took place 20, 30 years ago. But 20, 30 years ago to present day, not having any type of betterment, not having any type of hope, everything falling apart, and you're still wanting to vote for that? You hear all that has been going on in Trinidad and Tobago, where governments who come and go, political parties coming and going, the level of corruption we deal with as a nation. I really don't know. I don't know what to say again. I would continuously say we can't do the same thing over and over and over. We really, really cannot. Progressive Empowerment Party has real patriots, real individuals who are making real sacrifices to help bring and usher in this change that we are so desperately in need for. This betterment that we talk about so much, but seems to be so far to reach until now. Progressive Empowerment Party can give you that betterment, Trinidad and Tobago. We're not tooting our own horn, Well, actually we are. Because that's how sure we are of the policies. The policies that we're presenting into the public space. And I'm going to read those policies real quick, at least the 21 that we have presently. And those policies are: 1, home ownership for all, where, again, the model behind that is zero deposit, zero interest for 30 years for first-time homeowners for up to $1.5 million, allowing even the minimum wage earner to own a home. And when we say up to $1.5 million, we want to cap it at 1.5 as an allowance for you to be able to qualify for a loan. But you would have loan packages that's much less for starter homes that possibly can start from around $200,000. And again, on a 30-year loan, you're on $100,000. I think that can be around $478 or $76, somewhere around there, per $100,000. And again, Trinidad and Tobago, we want to bring out the information for you to kind of have your curiosity piqued and wanting to know more. Hold on here. Right. And again, home ownership for all, that that right there is something that we strongly believe that would bring a level of self-security for a lot of people on the ground in Trinidad and Tobago. Being able to have and own your own home where your family can grow, you're seeking the interests of yourself, your family, and the future for that said family. Owning a home is a big part of that level of security for you, for anyone for that matter. You're not secured having to rent, having a landlord being able to evict you at any point, or no, you need to own piece of the pie. And having your own home is owning piece of the pie, owning piece of Trinidad and Tobago. National security. Again, that right there. Establish radar-connected security platforms 3 miles out at sea to create a virtual wall around TNT, manned by law enforcement professionals and equipped with fast attack boats and interceptor helicopters, gunships that would enforce stop and search for all marine crafts entering our waters. This will bring an end to the illegal trade in guns, drugs, and human trafficking. Simple solution, and again, that said solution has been sitting on the National Security Desk for several years now. It's not to say they don't know how to fix Trinidad and Tobago, especially securing the borders. They know both sides of the fence. The question is that we should be asking is, why hasn't it been done to date? Why? So many inquiries, so many reports. They have the information. They have a blueprint. They have a blueprint. Again, why? Why has not the PNM to present day been able to secure the borders? Why has not the UNC to present day have not secured the borders, or even being in opposition insists that fact to the present day government, and pushing their hand to ensure that something can happen in trying to alleviate what is happening where our borders are concerned, our porous borders. Trinidad and Tobago, First world, number 3, first world law enforcement. Engage the services of foreign law enforcement, internal affairs and investigation teams to clean up the police service of corruption and criminal activity. Establish continuous training and assessment inclusive of mandatory drug and polygraph testing. Incentive law enforcement, incentivize law enforcement through bonuses and rewards for exemplary service. Establish a promotion policy based on merit and instructed by knowledge and skill development, as well as unblemished records. So that in itself, first world law enforcement is not just looking at the law on the ground, but looking at the law internally to have an eye on the said people who are supposed to be upholding the law. It's a very, very important thing, and we know for a fact that there are rogue elements within our security services, our security apparatuses. The police service, for example, is one of the biggest culprits of that. We have the Coast Guard, we have the Army, and so on. Again, there must be a type of internal affairs unit that is able to scrutinize these bodies to ensure corruption or wrongdoing is not taking place, because we know presently that it is taking place. I mean, Gary would be as good as he is, yes, no one says no, but is he able to really identify, see and know for fact exactly who's who, doing what, where, in which way, and for how long? I don't know, Mr. Gary. Gary is doing a good job, by the way, but again, not having all the tools that is necessary and all the financing which is necessary, is only so much that he can do. So I would say that not that his hands are fully tied, but is only so much that his hands can presently contribute to fixing the situation right now without proper funding and the proper protocols and policies in place. Again, he's doing the best that he can with the tools that he presently has at his disposal. So still hats off to you, Mr. Griffith. You are doing a much better job than our past commissioners has in the past. So where that's concerned, hats off to you. Okay, so number 4, we're looking at from criminals to contributing citizens. I actually like this policy a lot. And why I like the policy in itself is because we are not in the business of simply locking away a man and throwing away the key. Again, social side of things must be able to identify individuals, identify where their background is, the crime committed, and so on. Where the Progressive Empowerment Party is concerned, again, from criminals to contributing citizens, those who run afoul of the law and end up in jail would be given the tools to return to society better equipped than when they entered. Mandatory literacy, therapeutic counseling, and conflict resolution skills, together with opportunities to learn trades and even attain university degrees, would be offered to encourage personal development and provide hope and opportunity away from a life of crime. Again, keep in mind, we have a large illiterate population, and with that said population not being able to have a level of hope on opportunity and having no other choice than to look at crime, again, they're going into the system and they're being forgotten, and we're saying that we can't allow that. We must scrutinize our citizens, whether they do good or whether they do bad, and still be able to create systems and policies put in place so we can create better citizens, more empowered citizens with greater literacy, with greater common sense. really, and the state should have a responsibility as well in creating an environment on the ground where when they come out, they are able to get jobs, they are able to be productive citizens within society, they are able to actually have hope and opportunity without having reason to go back into the life of crime. That is the responsibility of government, to create that environment for its citizens, not just lock away people and throw away the key. And that in itself, we had a show about 3 weeks ago where we had United Prisoners Movement, and this is an organization that is seeking to highlight the issues that our citizens are dealing with when they are arrested and they are placed in jail or prison. And it's a real issue. It's a real issue, and as much as we would like to simply turn our face to that and say, well, if you do wrong, they deserve that, throw them in jail and just forget about the key. But you have people who are citizens who have not done wrong and has not been able to see a judge or have their case heard, and is still sitting in a remand yard or jail or what the case might be. It's the reality. It's a bad, sick, crazy reality that we live in. And again, where are the rights for the people? Where? Who is making sense of all of this nonsense? Who? Trinidad. It is that time again. And it's been a wonderful show. Monday morning, the 9th. Do not forget, on the 21st of March, presentation of the candidates of the Progressive Empowerment Party's candidates will be presented on the 21st of March, 5 p.m. You're going to have food, drink, no alcohol on site though. Look out for it, Trinidad. It's an exciting time in our history this year. Very exciting time. And again, just keep getting all the information which is necessary for you to allow you to make better decisions. Look out on the 21st of March, where we are going to be presenting our candidates for our 2020 general election. that is being presented on behalf of the PEP. So certainly that's taking place at 5 p.m. on 19 Stanmore Avenue. It's going to be a big shindig, so definitely you want to come by, and you would see, keep your eyes on the PEP page and so on. Philip would be posting out stuff, myself, Felicia, and everyone else, all the usual suspects. Again, it is going to be a really big deal, and these are the people that we are presenting into the public to let you know who's going to stand on your behalf in your respected constituency. This is a really big deal for you. It is a huge deal for you, because these are the people that would create the bridge between you and the betterment that you seek and deserve. Look out for it. 21st of March, 5 p.m., 19 Stanmore Avenue. Be there, Trinidad and Tobago. So, with that said, again, time check. My goodness, it's 8:02. So I think I've gone over. Director, don't vex with me. I've gone over 2 minutes. So again, Trinidad and Tobago, thank you so much for tuning in today. Look out tomorrow for Felicia Holder, and I will be back on Wednesday. This has been Pep Talks in the Morning. My name is Anthony Defoe, Deputy Political Leader of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and your host for Pep Talk in the Morning. Have a wonderful day, Trinidad and Tobago. Save TNT, vote PEP.
Trinidad and Tobago is in a crisis. For far too long, our people have been abused and silenced by our politicians and the business elite.
Just look around you. People are losing their jobs. Crime is at an all-time high. Our justice, education, and health systems have failed.
We all know the truth behind all that is wrong in our country. Corruption is destroying us. Billions of our dollars are being looted by a small group of business people that use our politicians to divide and distract us,
so they can take what they want, leaving us with no hope for a better country.
All of this is because we've never had leaders who seek the interests of the citizenry as their first priority.
I am here because I'm not taking it anymore.
I am here because I am not taking it anymore.
I am fed up of politics as it is in Trinidad and Tobago.
It is time we elect leaders with the backbone and the love of our people to go after the corrupt, evil elements in our country, hell-bent on serving their own pockets while we suffer.
And it is time that we as a nation take a collective stand against wrongdoing.
So we are making a plea to the nation to rally behind us.
Because our freedom of speech is being threatened by those who don't want us speaking out on these issues.
A man that I greatly respect is one of those leaders fighting for a better country. His name is Philip Edward Alexander, and he has bravely challenged the people and institutions that are destroying our nation.
To date, he has been threatened with 5 lawsuits for having the courage to ask state agency UDCOT on why the renovations of the President's house cost $89 million.
When experts in the field have estimated that that job should have never crossed 20 million.
Where did the rest of our money go?
We refuse to stand by and allow any agency to use our courts to try and silence and punish Philip or any other citizen of our country for trying to seek the truth.
If you're fed up of corruption and want to be a part of real change, support Philip and the Progressive Empowerment Party in this fight.
This fight is not for him or us to bear alone.
It is a fight for you, our loved ones, and our friends.
It is a fight for the future of our country.
You can help by making a contribution to Philip's legal fees and help him and PEP expose the truth and shine light over the darkness of corruption.
Go to our website at peptt.com, click on donate, and see all the ways you can pitch in.
There is hope. Our country can be saved, but we all need to stand together. My name is Felicia Holder, Chairman of the Progressive Empowerment Party, and I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support. I support.
I support.
I support.
I support.
I support Philip Edward Alexander and the PEP.